Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Gordon. We are back with another video. Today we're talking about ONDO Finance and tokenized real-world stocks on blockchain technology. As always, if you enjoy the content, please make sure to smash the thumbs up button below, hit subscribe, hit that bell notification icon, and you've got a completely free copy of The Rise of Bitcoin waiting for you in the description of this video. Grab that now and let's talk about ONDO. Okay, so I've been covering ONDO on the channel here for the past 2 years, and there's so much good stuff happening under the hood with the growth of ONDO in the real world asset tokenization narrative. Again, if you're not familiar with ONDO, it is a protocol and a business basically designing institutional grade platforms to bring financial markets on chain, focusing on essentially the tokenization of real world assets like treasuries, bonds, stablecoins, and even now stocks, bringing them on chain to make them more liquid, more efficient for swapping, trading, borrowing, and lending. And like I said, I want the focus of today's video to be on tokenized real world stocks. Again, very recently, we've seen ONDO come out with all of these different tokenized stocks. You can now build a fully custom tokenized stock portfolio in a self-custody wallet on the Ethereum blockchain. Again, other videos I've covered on ONDO have focused a lot on the fact that we have ONDO honing in on the tokenization of US Treasuries with their partnership with BlackRock. If I come into RWA.xyz, and if we look at this tokenized treasuries area, tokenized treasuries are exploding on chain, and the BlackRock Biddle Fund is using and leveraging ONDO's infrastructure to tokenize all of those real world assets. We can see top entities by tokenization of real world treasuries. ONDO is the second largest, contributing to over $1.48 billion of tokenized treasuries on chain. The majority of that happening on Ethereum mainnet, with some of it happening on BNB, Solana, Arbitrum, etc. But the vast majority is happening on Ethereum mainnet, and that is also the move that they've been making now with the tokenization of stocks with their global markets fund. Again, you can see here, check this out over on ONDO, ondo.finance/global-markets. We have a whole bunch of different stocks that we can now add to a self-custody wallet, purchasing them on dexes like Uniswap, but also on centralized exchanges like OKX, Gate.io, even on BitGet. And again, right now, they are available for purchase on Ethereum with Solana, BNB, and even ONDO Chain coming very, very soon. So with the explosion that we saw on Solana here a few months ago, it seems like ONDO are wanting to play catch up and be a true competitor to tokenized stocks with X stocks on Solana. And if I jump back over to RWA.xyz, we're going to filter by holders and jump into networks here. What you can see is a breakdown basically of the tokenization of stocks on blockchain technology. Now, this big pink shoot up here at the beginning of July is all of that X stocks tokenization that happened on Solana, and that is growing very, very quickly. You've now got huge amounts of holders on Solana. You know, you're looking at almost 80,000 individual holders here of XStocks tokens on Solana. But look at this blue line that's starting to trend up here since the middle of September. We can see that there has been a lot of growth here with the tokenization of stocks on Ethereum, and the number of holders has grown substantially from the hundreds to about 5,200 or over 5,200 individual people on the Ethereum network. Most of this is attributed to what's happening here with ONDO. You have the ability, if we come into the Explore Assets page, to essentially purchase all of these individual stocks directly on Ethereum. Again, you can filter here by all assets. We can even purchase ETFs like the S&P, the QQQ. We can look at technology stocks. We can purchase AMD or Nvidia or even Apple stock. If we take Apple as a quick example, you click into any individual tokenized stock here, and you'll find its on-chain contract address, so you can purchase that asset directly on a DEX. If I open up Uniswap very, very quickly here, all you have to do is have a self-custody wallet, select the token, paste in the token contract address, and we can see we can purchase the Apple ONDO tokenized stock derivative directly on Uniswap by using some stable coins or even swapping Ethereum for it. So this is exciting. It's bringing real world stocks on chain. Again, you can purchase fractional shares of any individual stock. Right here, if I spend $100, I'm going to get about zero point 0.4 Apple stock shares. And again, this is the beauty of blockchain technology. It makes it super efficient to have fractionalized ownership of these different corporations and getting access to building a stock portfolio directly in a self-custody wallet. So that is just one example. Of course, these are available across a whole bunch of centralized exchanges, as I alluded to. But in my opinion, you're going to want to use self-custody here to ultimately have self-control and making sure that you're acting from a place that gives you financial security and you're not relying on a centralized exchange to custody these assets, ultimately using some kind of hardware device. Having self custody is going to be more self sovereign for you in the long run. This is very exciting. We're seeing an explosion of tokenized stocks on chain, just like you can see here since July of 2025. This is only set to continue moving up and to the right, in my opinion. We're at 660 million in the total value of tokenized stocks from people who own them on chain at this moment in time. This is going into the billions, guys. In fact, it's going to be going into the tens of billions sooner rather than later. And I think you're seeing the likes of ONDO and even XStocks on Solana as the main contributing factors for all of this happening. If we look at ONDO right now, in terms of its token price, you're looking at us sitting at around 71 cents. Again, this has been a major drawdown since these prices up at around $1 just a couple of weeks ago. Yes, we had the flash crash on Friday, October 10th, where the price of ONDO went as low as 25 cents on certain centralized exchanges. What I'm looking at now is this level here right around 66 cents to hold as support, which it has been doing. This level is long-term support going all the way back to April of this year and even further back to this 60 cents area from October of 2024. So even though we did technically break out of this long-term downtrend here, this long-term downtrend was intact going back to the highs in the middle of December 2024. Technically, we didn't get above it here despite multiple attempts in May, June, and even into July. Eventually, at that first week of July, we got above it. We broke out. We went up to $1.16. We were consolidating around the 200-day simple moving average. Unfortunately, we broke below that, as well as this medium-term support trend at around 86 cents. And now we're having to figure out if we can hold above that 66 cents area and consolidate before hopefully moving a little bit higher. Again, much of this is going to be predicated on what Bitcoin does and if Bitcoin can hold its key medium and long-term support levels here at this moment in time. But I do think ONDO has some very good fundamentals going on behind the scenes. Like we've discussed here, we've seen all of the stuff happening with the tokenization of US Treasuries. We're seeing the adoption now of the ONDO stocks, people purchasing them on Ethereum, more expansion coming for Solana, BNB, and even the ONDO chain in the very near future. And I do think ONDO has some promising years ahead of it. If we check it out over on CoinMarketCap very, very quickly, technically it is the 43rd largest asset in the entire crypto space. It is up, roughly speaking, over the past year. It's actually down just 2.9% here over the past 365 days. We're sitting at a $2.24 billion market cap. Its market cap highs did get as high as just under $5 billion back in January of 2025. And right now we've got just under 33% of all tokens in circulation. So ONDO is still poised and set to be one of the leaders in the real world asset tokenization space. I would not write it off just yet, despite the more recent price action and volatility. So much good stuff happening under the hood with fundamentals and everything they're building with tokenized stocks, even with Flux Finance and all of the real world asset treasuries that we looked at. So pay attention here. Don't fade it. Maybe it's a good buy the dip opportunity if you're bullish on real world asset tokenization and everything BlackRock is doing. every time we seem to come down to this area between kind of 50 to 60 cents, we do seem to have that acting as support to move higher, consolidation, move higher, consolidation, move higher, consolidation, move higher. And so this area has served as a good buying zone historically. This is not financial advice, guys. Always do your own research, but check it out for yourself. Do the research on ONDO and pick up a little bit of that dip if it tickles your fancy. That is it for today's update on ONDO Finance, guys. Remember, if you got any value out of today's video, please just take 3 seconds right now, smash the thumbs up button below my finger on your screen. Make sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification icon, and let me know, do you want an updated price prediction video for ONDO? I did one about 6 or 7 weeks ago. I need to revisit the numbers. I need to map out the targets again for ONDO. Drop a comment on this video if you want me to put together an updated price target. Don't forget to grab your free copy of The Rise of Bitcoin. It's in the description waiting for you, and we'll catch you in the next one.